The human warship Iron Will moved through the dark space near a dead moon. Its scanners picked up a strange signal, weak and broken, repeating again and again. At first the crew thought it was a trap, maybe an old enemy trick, but the signal was desperate, like a whisper in the void. The captain, Elias Grant, stood on the command deck, staring at the faint glow on the screen. "Bring us closer," he ordered, his voice calm but sharp. The crew followed, and soon the wreck of a strange vessel appeared in the darkness. Its hull was torn, its engines cold, and strange symbols glowed faintly across its surface. A boarding team was sent, armored soldiers stepping into the silent alien ship. The corridor smelled of burned metal and something sharp, something alive. Lights flickered, shadows stretched, and the air felt heavy. Then they found it. In the center chamber lay a single alien, breathing hard, body covered in strange wounds that healed and opened again. Its skin shimmered, shifting colors like liquid metal, and its eyes glowed faint blue. When the soldiers raised their weapons, the alien raised a trembling hand. "Show mercy, human," it spoke in broken words, the voice raw. "My body will give you powerful offspring." The soldiers froze, confused and angry. "Captain, it's talking," one of them whispered over comms. "Begging," another muttered. "We should finish it now." But the captain's voice came through, firm. "Bring it aboard." The alien was chained and carried back to the Iron Will. The crew gathered to see it, whispering in fear and wonder. Some called it a monster. Others said it was a gift from the stars. The ship's doctor, Dr. Lin, looked at the creature with wide eyes. "Captain, this being is not like anything in our records," she said. "I need to study it. Its biology may change everything we know." But Sergeant Cole, head of the Marines, spat on the floor. "This thing is dangerous, Captain. One spark and it kills us all. We should end it before it wakes fully." The alien's eyes moved, glowing softly in the dark cell. It whispered again, weak but clear. "Show mercy, human. I can give you power. Your kind can rise higher." Whispers spread across the ship. Some believed the alien was lying, trying to trick them. Others felt a strange pull, as if the words were not only heard, but felt deep inside their minds. The crew became restless, unsure if they had captured a prisoner or a key to something greater. That night, as the ship drifted near the dead moon, strange things began to happen. The alien cell lights flickered without cause. Metal doors hummed as if alive. Some crew claimed they heard voices in their sleep, dreams of fire, stars breaking, and shadows chasing them. Others woke with a single whisper in their heads. "Mercy, human. Mercy." The captain stood alone in his quarters, listening to the reports. He looked out at the silent stars, his jaw tight. This alien could be the greatest danger humanity had ever captured, or the greatest chance humanity would ever have. But in the shadows of the ship, the alien closed its eyes and smiled faintly. Its wounds glowed and healed again, and its whisper carried through the steel walls. "Soon, they will understand." The alien sat inside a reinforced cell deep in the Iron Will. Chains of steel and energy fields locked its body to the wall, yet its glowing eyes followed every human who passed, calm and unblinking. The crew avoided the hallway, whispering as they walked by. They could not forget its strange words. Captain Elias entered the cell with Dr. Lin at his side. Sergeant Cole stood at the door, his rifle ready, his eyes sharp. The alien lifted its head slowly, its wounds already closing as if time obeyed its will. "Human captain," it said in its broken voice. "You took me, you bound me, but I offer more than my life." The captain's face stayed firm. "What do you mean?" The alien leaned forward, the chains clinking softly. "My blood holds secrets," it whispered. "I can heal, I can change, I can make your soldiers strong, your ships faster, your empire endless." Dr. Lin's heart raced. She had already seen its cells under the microscope. Its blood was alive, splitting and reshaping itself in ways she could not explain. "Captain," she whispered, "it may not be lying. This is something beyond science." But Sergeant Cole growled, "It is a trick, sir. It talks about power because it knows we crave it. It wants us weak." The alien turned its glowing eyes on Cole, and for a moment the soldier froze. He felt something in his chest, a pressure, like unseen fingers searching his heart. Then the alien smiled faintly. "You fear me, human warrior, yet you dream of being greater than you are. My blood can give that to you." Cole cursed and stepped back, sweat on his forehead. The captain raised his hand. "Enough," he said, his voice echoing in the metal cell. He studied the alien, trying to see the truth behind its words. "Why?" Elias asked. "Why would you give us this? What do you gain?" The alien lowered its head, its voice a soft growl. I ran from hunters, ancient killers who burned my people. They will find me. They will find you. Mercy is not weakness, Captain. It is survival. If I die, you die too. Dr. Lin gasped. Hunters? Another species? The alien nodded slowly. They follow my scent across the stars. They do not forgive. They do not stop. If you want your children to live, if you want your name remembered, you need me. The captain's heart grew heavy. If the alien spoke true, then humanity was now marked by enemies it had never seen. Enemies older, stronger, faster. But could this prisoner really protect them, or was it guiding them into a greater trap? That night, arguments filled the warship. Some crew shouted to kill the alien before the hunters arrived. Others begged the captain to listen, to seize the chance to become stronger. The ship became divided, loyalty cracking like thin ice under heavy boots. In her lab, Dr. Lin leaned over glowing samples of alien blood. It pulsed in the glass like a living heart, whispering against the walls. Her hands trembled as she touched the controls. For a moment, she thought she heard words in her head, not her own. Take me in. Feel the strength. You will never break again. At the same time, Sergeant Cole sharpened his knife in silence. He had seen the alien's eyes inside his mind. He had felt its cold fingers in his chest. He swore he would kill it before it turned the whole crew mad. The captain, unable to sleep, stared at the stars through the viewing window. The universe looked calm, but the weight of the alien's promise pressed on him. Somewhere out there, hunters moved closer, and the alien's words burned inside his head. Show mercy, human, and you may live. And in the darkness of its cell, the alien whispered to itself, chains rattling, eyes glowing brighter. The bargain begins. The iron will drifted in silence, far from any friendly system. Inside the ship, tension grew like fire hidden in dry wood. The alien's bargain spread through whispers and secret talks. Some wanted its gift, some wanted its death, but all felt its presence. Dr. Lin begged the captain to allow one small experiment. Captain, she said, her hands shaking, we cannot decide with fear alone. Let me test its blood. Let me see what it truly can do. Sergeant Cole slammed his fist on the table. This is madness, sir. If you let it near our people, it will spread like poison. We will lose the ship before we fire a shot. But Captain Elias finally nodded, his voice low and heavy. One test, Doctor, but under guard. If anything goes wrong, we end this creature. In the lab, under bright lights, the alien sat behind an energy field, its eyes glowing with quiet amusement. Dr. Lin placed a wounded soldier on a bed nearby, the man's arm bleeding from a training accident. The alien spoke softly, its voice echoing in the sterile air. Bring him closer. Let my blood touch his wound, and you will see. With shaking hands, Lin took a single drop of glowing alien blood and placed it on the cut. The crew held their breath, rifles raised, fingers on triggers. At first, nothing happened. Then the wound began to close, the skin sealed before their eyes, smooth and unbroken. The soldier gasped, sitting up, his pain gone, his arm whole. A wave of shock spread through the room. Some cheered, some crossed themselves, some whispered in fear, but Sergeant Cole growled, "It is a trick. Maybe temporary, maybe worse. We don't know what it planted in him." The alien tilted its head, smiling faintly. "The gift is real, human soldier. Your kind bleeds too easily. I can change that." Later, when the healed soldier was checked again, strange things appeared. His heart rate was stronger, his reflexes sharper, his vision clearer. He lifted heavy crates with ease, more than his muscles should allow. Dr. Lin whispered in awe, "Captain, it is rewriting him, making him more than human." The captain's chest tightened. He had wanted proof. Now he had it, and it terrified him. The alien leaned against the field, chains clinking softly. "You see now," it said, "a taste of what I offer. Imagine your armies healed in moments, your people rising against the stars. The hunters cannot kill what cannot be broken." That night, the soldier who received the gift could not sleep. He walked the halls, restless, his mind racing, his blood burning like fire. He stared at his hands, flexing them, feeling power he had never known. But in the dark corners, he swore he saw shadows moving, whispering, words he could not understand, voices not his own. When he finally returned to the barracks, he found Sergeant Cole waiting. Cole's eyes were cold, his voice a sharp blade. "What did it give you, soldier?" he asked. The man hesitated, then whispered, "Strength, sir, and something else. I can hear it in my head, like a second voice." Cole's jaw tightened, his suspicion turning into rage. This is corruption, not a gift. The captain must know. But before Cole could leave, the soldier grabbed his arm, stronger than any human grip. Maybe you're wrong. Maybe this is what we need to survive, he hissed, his eyes glowing faintly in the dim light. Cole ripped free, his knife ready. You're already lost, he growled. I'll end this before it spreads. The next morning, the ship's alarms blared. The gifted soldier had gone missing, leaving his bunk in ruins, metal bent and twisted. Dr. Lynn stared at the wreckage, fear in her eyes. Captain, the test worked, but it also changed him, and we don't know how far it will go. And in the locked cell, the alien smiled, its voice soft, cow, rang through the steel walls. One seed planted, more will grow, soon they will all see. The stars outside the iron will burned cold and silent, but deep inside the command deck the air was heavy. Every crew member carried the memory of the test. The soldier healed by alien blood was missing, and fear spread like fire in dry grass. Captain Elias stood by the main screen. The silence was broken when the sensors officer gasped. Captain, I'm picking up something, a signal. No, many signals. The room froze, eyes snapping to the glowing radar. Dots appeared one by one, then multiplied, spreading across the edge of the system. Ships, the officer whispered. Hundreds of ships, not human, not any design in our records. The captain's voice was low, calm, but his chest felt like stone. Put it on screen. The image shifted, and the crew saw them. Dark shapes moving in perfect formation, sleek and sharp, like predators in water. Each ship gave off a strange pulse, like a heartbeat felt in the bones. The alien inside its cell lifted its head suddenly, eyes burning bright. They have come, it whispered, the sound carrying through the walls. The hunters. On the deck, the crew watched in terror as the signals drew closer. Sergeant Cole slammed his fist on the console. This is your fault, Captain. You brought the thing aboard. Now its killers follow us. But Dr. Lynn shook her head, pale but steady. No, don't you see? They were already following it. If we hadn't found it, we would still be blind. We wouldn't even know they were here. The alien's voice echoed through the comms, though no one had opened a channel. Mercy or death, Captain. The hunters will not stop. They smell me, they smell you. Your people are prey to them now, unless you use what I give. The captain stared at the endless dots. His crew looked at him, waiting for orders, fear in their eyes. He felt the weight of every life on his shoulders. If the alien was right, humanity had just been dragged into a war it could not win. Alarms blared as the hunters sent a single ship ahead. It cut through the dark like a blade, faster than anything human made. Weapons hummed, scanners lit red. The iron will shook as the first strike came. Metal screamed, lights flickered, and smoke filled the air. The crew scrambled, shouting, firing defensive turrets. But the alien's voice came again, calm in the chaos. You cannot fight them with what you are. You must become more. Release me, and I will guide you. Sergeant Cole roared over the noise. Captain, don't listen. It will lead us to ruin. Better we die human than live as slaves to that thing, Dr. Lynn shouted back. We have no choice, Captain. You saw what its blood did. We need it now. The ship shuddered again, another hit tearing into the hull. Sparks rained, consoles exploded, men and women screamed. Elias clenched his fists, his mind torn. Trust the alien and risk corruption, or fight alone and face certain death. The hunter ship circled for another strike, its weapons glowing with cruel energy. In the cell, the alien spread its arms, chains rattling. Its voice sank deep into the captain's mind. Decide, human. Your kind is fragile. Your time is short. Show mercy, and I will show you how to live. The captain's hand hovered over the command panel. One order could unlock the alien's bonds. One order could change everything. Outside, the hunters closed in. Inside, the alien waited, smiling faintly. The bargain was no longer a whisper. It was survival. And as the ship shook under enemy fire, Captain Elias knew the moment of choice had come. The iron will shook under the power of enemy fire. Panels sparked, alarms screamed, and the crew fought to hold their stations. On the main screen, the hunter ship moved with terrifying grace. It circled like a wolf testing its prey, fast, patient, and merciless. Shields at 30%, the officer shouted, his voice cracking. We cannot take another hit like that. Sergeant Cole gritted his teeth, clutching his rifle. Captain, give the word. I'll end that alien now before it does worse. But Dr. Lynn grabbed his arm, her eyes wide with fear. Without it, we are already dead. Captain Elias stood frozen for a heartbeat. Then his hand slammed the command console. "Unlock the cell," he ordered, his voice sharp and heavy. The guards hesitated, but the system obeyed. Chains fell, the energy field dropped, and the alien stepped free, its wounds sealed in seconds, its skin shifting like liquid silver under the lab lights. The alien stretched its arms slowly, its body glowing faintly. "You have chosen wisely, human," it whispered. "Now watch and learn." It walked to the nearest console, the guards raising their rifles in panic, but the alien pressed its palm against the metal. The ship trembled, lights flickered, and systems shifted as if recognizing it. "Your ship is blind," the alien said. "Let me show you where to strike." On the main screen, new symbols appeared, alien markings highlighting weak points on the Hunter vessel. Dr. Lin gasped, "It's rewriting our systems, giving us a map." The captain's eyes narrowed. "All gunners, fire where it shows." The iron will spat fire into the void. Beams of energy and heavy missiles streaked through the dark. For the first time, the Hunter ship staggered. One of its wings cracked open, flames spilling into space. The crew erupted in cheers, relief flooding their hearts, but the alien's voice cut through their joy. "A low and sharp. Do not celebrate yet, human. That was only one, many more come." True enough, the radar lit up again. Dozens of Hunter ships broke formation, racing toward the iron will. The first had been testing them. Now the pack was moving in for the kill. Sergeant Cole stepped forward, glaring at the alien. "You saved us once, fine, but if you betray us, I'll kill you with my bare hands." The alien smiled faintly, its glowing eyes fixed on him. "You could try, human soldier, but soon you may beg for what I carry." The Hunters struck again. The iron will spun, its shields collapsing, fires tearing through the lower decks. Crew screamed as explosions rocked the halls. The alien stood tall in the chaos, unshaken. "You are fragile," it said, "but you can be more. Let me give more of my blood. Let me make your warriors into weapons." Dr. Lin looked at the captain, her voice trembling. "Sir, it may be our only chance. We cannot win this fight as we are." But Cole barked back. "You saw what happened to the last soldier. He vanished, corrupted. We cannot let it spread." Elias felt the weight of choice crushing him again. Every second lost meant more lives burned. The Hunters swarmed, their weapons cutting closer. The alien's voice pressed into his mind. "Choose, Captain. Die as men, or live as more." The captain's hand tightened on the console. "Prepare emergency boarding squads," he ordered. "If we must fight, we fight with everything. Alien, show me how to kill them faster." The alien stepped closer, its chains gone, its smile wider. Then the first blood is spilled, and the war begins. Outside, the Hunters closed like a storm of teeth and steel. Inside, the humans armed themselves, fear burning into fury. And in the heart of the ship, man and alien prepared to fight side by side, not as allies, not as friends, but as creatures with no other choice. The iron will burned as it ran. Hunters swarmed behind, their dark ships cutting through space like blades. Every hit shook the human vessel. Every strike tore metal from its hull. On the bridge, smoke filled the air. Officers shouting, alarms screaming. "Engines failing," the helmsman cried. "We cannot outrun them, Captain." Elias gritted his teeth, his eyes locked on the screen of death behind them. Then the alien's voice slid through the noise, calm and sharp. "There is a way, a crack in space nearby, but it is unstable. You may live, or you may be torn apart." Sergeant Cole spat. "We can't trust it. It wants us dead as much as those things do." Dr. Lin stepped forward, desperate. "If we stay, we die for certain, Captain. We must take the chance." The crew waited, fear etched on every face. The Hunters were closing fast, their weapons glowing brighter, ready to finish the kill. Elias slammed his fist down. "Set course for the anomaly, full speed." The ship groaned as its engines screamed to life. The Hunters followed, hundreds of them, shadows chasing prey. Ahead, the anomaly appeared, a swirling wound in space. It pulsed like a living eye, twisting light and stars around it. "Wormhole unstable," the navigator shouted. "Entry could collapse the ship." The alien stood tall, its glowing eyes fixed on the storm. "Do it," it whispered. "Let me guide you." The iron will plunged into the tearing light. The ship shook as if being ripped apart, metal bending, men and women screaming. Reality twisted, corridors stretched like melted glass. Crew members saw their reflections warp, their own faces staring back with alien eyes. Dr. Lin clutched her head, visions flooding her mind. She saw stars burning, great towers falling, and endless armies of hunters marching across galaxies. She heard whispers, ancient and deep. Join us, rise higher, do not break, do not die. Small! Sergeant Cole roared, forcing himself to stay standing. But even he saw shadows crawling at the edges of his vision. Shapes not human, not alien, but something in between. He shook his head, gripping his rifle tighter. This thing is poisoning us, he growled. Even space bends under its lies. The ship burst through with a thunderous crack. Behind them, the wormhole collapsed, crushing 3 hunter ships in the storm. The Iron Will floated in a new sector of space, scarred but alive. Cheers erupted across the deck, the crew hugging, crying, their relief like fire in cold night. But the celebration died quickly. Something felt wrong, heavy. Crew members whispered of dreams during the passage. Some said they saw their dead families calling to them. Others swore they felt new strength in their veins, as if their bodies had changed. Dr. Lin checked the crew in the med bay. She found small differences. Bones stronger, eyes sharper, wounds closing faster than normal. Her voice trembled when she spoke to Elias. Captain, it wasn't just the ship that came through. Something happened to us in the wormhole, something tied to the alien. The alien stood calmly in its chamber, its chains gone, its body glowing with health. You touched my world, it said. The wormhole was not only a door, but a mirror. It showed you what you can become. It left seeds inside you. Elias stared, his fists tight. Seeds? He asked, his voice dark. The alien smiled faintly. You call them changes. I call them gifts. Soon you will see. Soon you will need them. The hunters will not stop. Sergeant Cole slammed his hand on the wall. You infected us. You cursed us. I knew it from the start. But some soldiers behind him shifted uneasily. One muttered, what if it's true? What if this makes us stronger? We survived because of it. The captain looked around his divided crew, some afraid, and some eager, all changed, and deep inside he felt something too. A fire in his blood that was not there before. The alien's whisper echoed in his mind. Mercy, human. Now you carry me. The Iron Will drifted in a silent sector of space, its engines repaired, its crew shaken, its future uncertain. Though the hunters were far behind, another battle had begun inside the ship, the battle for control over their own bodies. It started small, unnoticed. A soldier in the mess hall lifted a heavy crate with one hand, laughing as if it weighed nothing. Another Marine ran faster than ever during drills, leaving comrades behind. Some thought it was adrenaline. Others whispered it was something more. Dr. Lin knew the truth. Her scans showed muscle fibers denser, bones thicker, reflexes sharper. The wormhole and the alien's blood had changed them. These are not accidents, she whispered to Captain Elias. The crew is mutating. Their bodies are rewriting themselves. The captain's face was grim. He felt it too. His own cuts healed faster, his strength deeper than before. He stared at his hands, fists trembling. What is the price? He asked quietly, but no one answered. In the training hall, Sergeant Cole tested the soldiers. He watched them fight with new speed, new power. One Marine's eyes glowed faintly in the dark. Another's skin hardened like stone when struck. Cole barked orders, pushing them harder, but inside he burned with rage. These are not my soldiers, he thought. They're turning into something else. The alien sat calmly in its chamber, chains gone, eyes glowing, a faint smile on its face. You see now, it said to those who dared approach. My gift blooms inside you. Strength, speed, survival. You are becoming more than human. Some crew listened in secret, their hearts drawn to its words. They believed the alien had saved them, given them power to live through the hunters. Others avoided the chamber, crossing themselves, whispering of demons and corruption. The ship was no longer one crew, but two sides locked in silence and fear, then seeing. Aim the first break. A soldier woke screaming in the barracks, his body twisting, bones cracking. His skin shimmered like metal. His voice turned into a howl, not human. He lashed out, tearing through steel with his bare hands. 3 Marines tried to stop him, and 2 died before he was put down. The halls filled with blood and terror. Whispers became shouts, soldiers pointing fingers. This is the alien's curse, Cole roared, standing over the corpse. We are being turned into monsters. But one young Marine stepped forward, trembling, his eyes glowing faintly. Monsters or warriors? If we fear this gift, the hunters will slaughter us. Maybe this is the only way we win. The crew divided further. Some followed Cole, demanding the alien's death. Others gathered in secret. wanting to embrace the changes. Dr. Lin watched it all, her heart heavy. She knew both sides were right, and both sides were blind. Captain Elias called a council in the command deck. Voices rose in anger, fists slammed on tables. The alien's whisper carried through the comms without permission. You fight each other while the true enemy closes in, foolish humans. Your blood already carries me. The more you resist, the more you break. The captain's jaw clenched, silence falling as he stood. We are changing, he admitted, his voice like iron. We cannot deny it, but we must control it. If this power saves us, we use it. But if it destroys us, we end it. I will not let this ship tear itself apart. Cole glared at him, his hand on his knife. You cannot control corruption, Captain. It spreads until nothing human remains, Lin whispered back. And without it, we may not live to remain anything at all. That night, the crew slept uneasily, some with fear in their hearts, some with hope, and some with whispers in their minds, voices not their own. In the dark, one soldier's eyes opened, glowing. Brighter than before, he smiled faintly, his teeth sharper, his voice not his own. The gift grows, he whispered, and the hunters will see. The iron will floated in uneasy silence. The hunters had not yet found them, but the greater danger was inside. The crew was divided, whispers of loyalty and whispers of fear cutting the ship in two. Some called the alien a savior, others called it the death of humanity. Captain Elias tried to hold his people together, but every day, more soldiers showed strange changes in their bodies, a spark in their eyes, a power in their blood, a voice not their own in the dark. And behind it all, the alien watched, patient as the stars. Among the crew was Lieutenant Rourke, a man ambitious, clever, and hungry for power. He had always lived in the shadow of others, but now he saw a chance to rise. He visited the alien's chamber at night, walking alone when the halls were empty. The alien sat waiting, as if it had known he would come. Its eyes glowed softly, its voice calm as still water. You seek more, human. More than your captain gives, more than your soldiers respect, more than your world allows. Rourke swallowed hard, his chest heavy. You can give me that? The alien smiled faintly, its chains rattling like distant thunder. My blood flows through the ship already, but to you I can give more. Strength to break men, wisdom to command fleets, a future where they kneel before you. Rourke's hands trembled, the dream of power burning inside him. All I have to do is free you, he whispered. The alien leaned forward, its voice deep. Not free, not yet. Only guide me where I cannot reach. Help me shape this crew, and you will be first among them. From that night, the betrayal began. Small at first, lights failing in certain halls, doors jamming, systems breaking. Dr. Lin found her research files missing, erased as if stolen. Sergeant Cole discovered weapons lockers unlocked when no one had given orders, and in the shadows, Rourke watched, silent, unseen, feeding too. He aliens reach. One night the alarms blared, the ship shook as if struck, but no hunters were in sight. The engines had been sabotaged, coolant lines cut, fire bursting through the lower decks. Crew rushed to contain the flames, shouting in panic. Elias stood on the bridge, fury in his eyes. This was no accident, he growled. Someone inside is doing this. Cole pointed his finger. It's the alien, I warned you. It's twisting our minds, making traitors out of us. But Lynn shook her head. No, this was human work, deliberate. Someone is helping it. The captain's heart sank. If the crew was no longer only divided but corrupted, then the ship itself was doomed. He ordered an investigation, but the saboteur was always one step ahead. Every day the alien's smile grew wider, its whispers stronger. You see, Captain, it is not me you should fear. It is your own kind, hungry, weak, easily bent. The final blow came when the hunter's signal returned. They were closing in again, drawn by the chaos aboard the Iron Will, and just as the crew prepared for battle, the main defense grid failed. The ship lay open, naked before the storm. Elias roared in rage. Find the traitor now! But Rourke was already gone. He stood in the alien's chamber, his eyes glowing faintly now. You promised me command, he whispered, his voice trembling with hunger. The alien's smile widened, its words like silk. And command you shall have. When the weak fall, the strong rise, you will see. As the hunters closed around them, The betrayal cut deeper than any enemy strike. The Iron Will was not only under attack from outside, it was already bleeding from within. The Iron Will limped through space, its hull scarred, its crew weary, its spirit broken. Betrayal had left wounds deeper than hunter fire. Trust was gone, and whispers followed every step. Still, the alien guided them. It spoke of a hidden world, a place where its people once lived, a hive carved into stone and star, a place of power, a place of ruin. "If you wish to understand me," it whispered, "you must see where I was born, and where my kind was destroyed." Captain Elias stood on the bridge, his eyes hard. He did not trust the alien, yet he could not ignore it. The hunters followed their trail still, growing closer each day. If there was a chance for answers, for weapons, for survival, it had to be taken. The coordinates carried them to a silent world. Black rock stretched across its surface, cracked and burned by old fire. Ruins rose like broken teeth, towers half buried in ash. The scanners found no life, no voices, only echoes of death. The crew landed near a massive structure, a hive wide as mountains, its walls carved with symbols glowing faintly in the dark. Sergeant Cole spat on the ground. "This is a grave, not a sanctuary," he muttered. Dr. Lynn stared at the walls, her voice soft. "Or it's both, Captain, a grave and a library." Inside, the hive was vast. Hallways twisted like veins, chambers opened like lungs. The walls pulsed faintly, as if still alive, and on the floors lay corpses, alien bodies long dead, their shells cracked, their bones black. The alien walked ahead, its glowing eyes sad but steady. "My people ruled this galaxy once, until the hunters rose against us. They slaughtered us here, they burned our hives, they broke our blood." It placed its hand on the wall, and light spread. Symbols glowed brighter. Ancient machines hummed to life. The crew gasped, watching the dead hive wake again. Dr. Lynn moved closer, eyes wide with awe. "This is not only history, Captain, it's technology. There's science, there's secrets, it's still here." But Cole raised his rifle. "Or it's bait, waiting to finish what the hunters began." Deeper in the hive, they found a great chamber. At its center stood a massive machine, its core glowing faintly. The alien knelt before it, whispering in words the crew did not know. Then it turned, its voice sharp. "This is the heart of the hive, a forge of life. It can reshape your kind, make you strong enough to survive the hunters if you dare." The crew exchanged nervous looks. Some faces showed hunger, others fear. Lynn's voice trembled. "Captain, this could give us the advantage we need. Imagine ships healed like wounds, soldiers remade in hours." Cole's face darkened. "Or it ends what little humanity we have left, Captain. Use this, and we are no longer men, we're its slaves." Elias felt the weight of their eyes, the weight of the alien's smile. One path led to power, one path to ruin, maybe both to the same end. The chamber lights pulsed like a heartbeat, the machine waiting, alive, and in the silence, a faint sound echoed through the hive, not the hum of machines, but the howl of hunters, far away, closing in. The alien lifted its head, eyes glowing brighter. "They come," it whispered, "and you stand at the edge of choice. Will you burn with the rest, or rise higher than them all?" The hive walls trembled as if remembering old battles. The crew stood divided again, their fear and hope colliding. And Captain Elias knew this hive was more than ruins. It was a mirror, showing humanity what it might become. A weapon, a curse, a legacy waiting to be claimed. The Iron Will hovered above the ruined hive world. Its hull cracked, its crew divided, its heart filled with dread. Below them, the ancient forge pulsed with alien light. Around them, the stars began to burn with hunter fire. The hunters had found them. Dozens of ships, then hundreds, sliding from the darkness like predators smelling blood. Their formation was perfect, cold, merciless. The crew on the bridge went silent, their hope shrinking to nothing. "Shields at full, weapons ready," Captain Elias ordered, his voice sharp as steel. But even he knew the truth. One ship could not stand against an armada, not without something more. The alien stepped onto the bridge, no longer bound, no longer hidden. Its eyes glowed like twin stars, its voice low and steady. "This is the end of your kind as you are, Captain. Unless you rise higher, let me guide your forge. Let me make your people into what they must be." Sergeant Cole snarled, aiming his rifle. "Enough lies, enough tricks. I'd rather die a man than live as your experiment." Dr. Lynn stepped forward, desperate. "Captain, look around. We don't have a choice. If we reject this, we die here, all of us. The first hunter barrage struck. The iron will shook like a wounded beast, flames spilling across its decks. Men and women screamed, systems sparked. But through the chaos, the alien pressed its hand to the console. New symbols spread across the screens, alien paths and hidden weak points glowing bright. Strike here and here, it whispered. Your weapons alone are not enough, but your people. Your blood carries my gift now. Let them fight as more than human. Elias's heart thundered. He saw his crew, soldiers with glowing eyes, men and women healing too fast, their strength more than natural. Some feared what they were becoming, others hungered for it, and in this moment, there was no middle path. Deploy bore. Ding squads, he ordered at last. If we fall, we take them with us. Dropships launched, filled with Marines, their bodies stronger, faster, some already half changed by the aliens' touch. They landed on hunter vessels, blades flashing, rifles burning. For the first time, hunters fell screaming, their dark hulls cracking under human fury. On the bridge, Cole watched in silence. He saw his men fight like monsters, saw their wounds close mid-battle, saw their eyes glow like the aliens, his stomach twisted, his pride burning with shame and fury. These aren't soldiers anymore, he muttered. They're something else. But the tide turned slowly. For every hunter ship destroyed, 3 more closed in. The hive world shook as enemy fire rained across its surface. The forge below pulsed harder, as if calling out, waiting to be claimed. Dr. Lin stared at the screen, her voice trembling. Captain, the forge can amplify what's already begun. If we link it to the crew, if we embrace it fully, we may turn this battle. But once we do, there is no going back. Elias's hand clenched on the console, the alien's eyes fixed on him, burning bright. Decide, it whispered. Die as men, or live as something greater. The hunters closed in, the armada circling like sharks. The iron will bled fire into the void, its hull cracking, its shields gone. Every life aboard hung on the captain's next word. The forge pulsed below. The alien waited. The crew trembled. And in that moment, Elias spoke. Activate the forge. The ship shook, light flooding through its veins. The crew screamed as power rushed into their blood, their bodies twisting, changing. On the battlefield, hunters paused. For the humans were no longer only human. They rose stronger, faster, something new, something terrifying. The final siege had begun. The iron will blazed with alien light. Its halls shook with screams as soldiers changed. Their eyes glowed, their skin hardened, their veins burned with fire. The forge below the hive had awakened, and humanity was no longer the same. On the battlefield, the hunters faltered. For the first time in their endless war, prey struck back with equal fury. Human Marines tore through their ships, blades cutting faster, wounds closing in moments. The hunters fought with rage, but they bled. They broke. They fell. On the bridge, Captain Elias stood frozen. Around him his crew changed before his eyes. One officer's arm grew like steel. Another's voice carried a second echo. They were winning, but at what cost? Dr. Lin clutched the console, her face pale. Captain, the forge is rewriting us. Every second it grows stronger. Soon we may not even be human. Sergeant Cole slammed his fist on the wall, his eyes burning with fury. I told you, this is corruption, not salvation. Better to die human than live as its spawn. The alien stood tall, glowing brighter than ever. You fear change, it said softly. But this is life. This is survival. My kind was strong, but we fell because we stood alone. With you, we rise together. With you, the stars are yours. Its voice carried through every speaker, every corridor, and the crew heard it in their blood, not just in their ears. The hunters regrouped for one last strike. Dozens of ships circled, their weapons glowing. If they could not win, they would burn the hive and the humans both. The choice had to be made now. Elias stared at the alien, his voice rough. You call this mercy, but it feels like conquest. If I let this continue, we are no longer us. Humanity dies here, even if we live. The alien tilted its head. Humanity as you knew it dies, yes, but what is born after will never kneel again. Do you not wish that for your children? And the captain's heart pounded. He thought of Earth, of faces he would never see again, of history carved in blood and struggle. Would they thank him for saving them, or curse him for changing them? Behind him, Lynn whispered, her voice breaking. Captain, If you stop it now, we lose. If you let it continue, we win. But we may not recognize ourselves after, Cole growled, pulling his knife. Then let us die as men. He turned toward the alien, his rage like fire. But in that moment, a Marine stepped in his way, his glowing eyes sharp. No, the Marine said, his voice echoing. We are more now. We cannot go back. We will not go back. The crew split in that instant. Some sided with Cole, blades and rifles ready. Others stood with the alien, their bodies already half changed, their loyalty burning in their new blood. The bridge became a battlefield, brother against brother, sister against sister. Elias raised his weapon, firing into the air. Enough, he roared, his voice cutting through the chaos. All of you stand down. Silence fell, but only for him. They waited, broken, divided, waiting for his word. The hunters fired their final barrage. The shields screamed. The ship cracked. Death was seconds away. The alien's voice pressed once more into his mind. Choose human mercy or death, rise or vanish. This is your moment. The captain closed his eyes. He felt the fire in his own blood, the strength not his own. He thought of humanity's fragile body and the vast galaxy waiting to kill it. He thought of the word whispered since the beginning, mercy, and then he spoke. His voice carried across the ship, across the stars. This is not the end of humanity. The crew leaned in, breathless. It is the beginning. The forge blazed, the aliens smiled, the hunters screamed as fire consumed them. The iron will stood alone in the silence after. Not human, not alien, but something new, something the galaxy would never forget.